from the break, Ram fans. I'm Ruby Kayser. Well, you heard it from Ella before the break, but CSU football did not have the best showing last weekend against Michigan and Ann Arbor. But thankfully for the Fort Collins community, they weren't the only squad on the gridiron. In fact, not even close. You see, right here in Fort Collins lies Poudre School District, an area that encompasses 4 major high schools, all of which have recently kicked off their football seasons for the fall. We begin with the Fort Collins High School, where the Lambkins seek a second consecutive playoff appearance. And the look of the program has shifted dramatically since the promotion of the new head coach. Following an abysmal 2-8 record in 2019, the school turned the keys out to the former FCHS quarterback and CSU Rams wide receiver himself, Matt Yem. And boy, has that paid off. After an encouraging 4-2 inaugural season and an abbreviated COVID year, Coach Yem's squad absolutely crushed league play with a 5-0 record. The Lambkins entered playoffs as the 16th seed, successfully unpending 17th seed Chaparral in the first round. However, Fort Collins then fell to the powerhouse and eventual runner-up Valor Christian. While the season may have ended earlier than the Lambkins hoped, it was still a promising sign for the future. An undefeated league season and competitive playoff run was exactly what the team needed heading into the season. Riding last year's success, the Lambkins opened with a W against Denver East, but then followed with a tough 21-50 loss against Mountain Vista. Looking ahead in late September and early October, the Lambkins will face off with not one, but 2 Fort Collins rivals. There's nothing better than back-to-back crosstown rivalries. FCHS will especially be eyeing that Rocky game, as the Lambkins lost to the Lobos in a nail-biter a season ago, 25-24. But I wouldn't underestimate this team. They have already started the season red hot with 2 non-conference wins right off the bat. The Lobos started off with a shutout against Chaparral. Needless to say, the defense was rock solid, recording 2 interceptions that contributed to an easy 20-0 victory. The following week, Rocky Mountain didn't have it so easy, dueling Cherokee Trail in an intense matchup that came down to the wire in overtime. The Lobos clutched up, though, with a game-winning field goal. The Lobos hope to stay perfect this season, this upcoming Friday against Legacy High School on the road. And just across town, the Fossil Ridge Sabercats split their first 2 games of the 2022 campaign, the win courtesy of a close one with Loveland. In a wild state of affairs that saw the scoring go this way and that, the run-heavy Loveland Red Wolves were finally pushed out of their comfort zone, having to air it out with their final drive down 1. However, senior defensive back Ryan Polier hauled in the second interception of the game, sealing it for the Sabercats 36-35. But unfortunately for Fossil fans, that excitement would quickly eradicate the following week as Coach Jeff Fulton's team welcomed Grandview, a squad ranked 3rd in the state. Though the passing game was relatively evenly matched, the ground game was a different story. Wolves senior H-back Chase DeHere led the night with over 100 yards on the ground. On the other side, sophomore Colton Pollock ended with just south of 70. Honestly, looking at these stats, I'm surprised that the game was so lopsided, as Fossil Ridge senior Trek Keyworth was the clear leader in receiving with 9 catches and nearly 160 yards. That said, red zone effectiveness played in Grandview's favor, and the Wolves capitalized when needed. And finally, unlike Fossil, Poudre's fortunes were switched in the first 2 weeks. The Impalas struggled against the Rock Canyon Jaguars. The offense was only able to produce 8 points compared to the Jaguars' 40. Now, there were some bright spots as Poudre corralled a pair of picks, but that's really all the defense could muster in a one-sided affair. Going on the road is definitely not easy, but in the Impalas bounced back just 6 days later. A 27-yard TD pass from senior Quentin Harms to tight end Logan Carell in the first quarter pulled Poudre ahead early, stifling offenses persisted on both sides until the beginning moments of the fourth quarter, when the Impalas linebacker and ball carrier Sajay Camarid found a hole for a 15-yard run for 6. An improved defense helped the Impalas secure a 14-10 victory over Castleview. Wow, that means all 4 high schools have registered at least 1 win already. But they weren't the only ones seeing the action on the field. As a matter of fact, there's a school right next door that's experiencing for the very first time. Taylor, can you tell us what Timnath Middle High School is about?
Thanks, Ruby. Spending time on this new campus with young athletes and just under 1,000 students was inspiring. The town of Timnath is thrilled about all the amenities the school has to offer to bring to the community. Together, and the new chapter for this incoming class of 2022-23 will be filled with fresh experiences.
Looks forward to new rosters for this year's fall sports season. The town of Timnath welcomes its first class at Timnath Middle High School. The school has students from 6th to 10th grade coming from all directions, and this first class of young athletes gets to set traditions and standards for the upcoming class to follow. Many of the young athletes want to create a sense of belonging within their team since this is the beginning of a new chapter for the entirety of the student population.
It was just so surreal because it was like, oh, we got this new program, we get to build all these new traditions, and it's just kind of cool to be like these leaders in a way that not many freshmen get to experience.
The Timnath Cubs are young but eager to show what they got against possible new rivals like Wellington Middle High School, who is starting their first year with students as well. But as the competition will rise, coaches for this incoming class are just as excited to raise the bar.
We talk a lot about building grit and resilience, having a growth mindset, knowing that your efforts that you put in on a day-to-day basis can really impact your ability to be successful.
While this new campus is an exciting experience for student athletes and the faculty, the Cubs strive to live by a set of values that are taught inside and outside of the classroom.
So we always talk a lot about work ethic, sportsmanship, and competing with character. It's striving to win, but not making that the only determination of a program's success.
At Timnath Middle High School, there's a lot of passion in these student athletes as they start the 2022-23 season. And while the rosters are using the youth to their advantage, the school itself will bring many successes.
This new school and community are excited to break in the new campus. AD Emily Dunn mentioned how much courage it takes from these 6th to 10th graders to be that first class and face any competition that comes their way. And while some of the athletes can't help but wish for a season that takes them to the state tournament, they all continue to push for a positive and motivating environment while they head towards their senior year.
Taylor, I think that's great. I think it'll be really cool to see how Timnath builds over the next couple years. It'll take a while to get them kind of in the mix, but I think it'll be interesting to see how they kind of grow.
Definitely, and a lot of these students who are so young, we're just so excited to start these new traditions and set forward to their senior year.
Yeah, it'll be great to see how they do. When we come back, Rams, all 5 of us will return for an extended version of Hot or Not. Stay right here with CTV Channel 11 because you definitely won't want to miss it.
I wasn't on. Yeah, they didn't really make it